Look at the way they checking me out. They was blind to the fact, but they seeing it now. They told me, hold your horses, dog, you too far from the crown. But from the view of the crowd, I'm going way too fast to ever slow down. That's what they keep on telling me. But why would I do that when I got everything they need? Why I'm everything they wanna be? All you haters can just get your shit and leave, cause no one cares about your music. Just sit back and watch me do it. No one cares about what you doing. Just sit back and watch me do it. Check me.
Hey y'all, welcome back to yet again another video of me educating you all on what it is that I do to perfect my units. This particular video will focus on how I prep my bundles. Now, I know some people use the fold over method. Some people use they cut their wefts, which I also do. But what I like to do is sew my units onto, well, I know how to sew them onto an actual cap, but I don't prefer it. And I'll go into, a video in the future explaining why I don't. But this particular one will be focusing on, I believe, sewing the unit, if I'm not mistaken, onto the cap, and then the process of me actually prepping my actual bundles. All right, they're my company's bundles. Don't forget to check out if this video is something that you're interested in. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, as well as hit that notification bell. That way you are notified as to when it is that I upload another video of this sort. And as usual, if this video has helped you, or you anticipate it helping you, don't forget to for sure give me a like, subscribe, and share this with someone you know. Sharing is caring. So yeah, without me rambling on and on and on, let's hop into the video. So as you see, I'm starting off with my sewing machine. It is the Brothers sewing machine, the C5 6000i, I believe. You can use whatever sewing machine you have in your arsenal, or one that's most affordable to you. This is my favorite. So I'm showing you all the bundles that I'm using. Like I said before, they are my own company's bundles. The ones with the silver bands are my premium hair, and the more bronzes, goldish bands are my mid-grade hair. I'm starting this sewing process. I don't know if I'm going to show you, but the numbers that I'm using is 1.8 on top and then 5.0 on bottom. I'll go into more detail on that in the future, but it basically details the shape, which I'm using a Z pattern, like a zigzag pattern, and the tightness of my thread and how far apart my thread is from one another. So at this angle, you all see what I'm doing. I'm taking 2 rolls, okay, of hair. So the bundle is folded over already, and I'm taking 2 rolls. I'm putting one on top of the other and the other one at the bottom with slight overlap, if you all get what I'm saying. Like, you can see it on here, but as you all see also, I'm pinching it. That way, when it goes through the machine, it opens up and it lies right next to one another. And you all will see how flat it's going to need to be before you're applying it to the hair. To your wig. So you see how flat and close together that is? That's how you want it to look, okay? So pinch it to bring it closer together so that there's slight overlap. And what I also want you all to know is doing it this way secures the hair on that bundle even more. So this is another reason. Plus, I like my wigs full. So if you are into full wigs, this is another thing you're going to want to do to fit as much hair into your wig as you possibly can. All right. So once all of that is complete, I'm taking my 21-inch dome head, which is about my size. My size is actually 20.5, but this works, okay? So I'm taking this one and I'm putting it on my stand. The dome cap that I use is this particular one. So you can look it up, Google it, do whatever you need to do, find it in your stores. Make sure you have that SKU number jotted down. I take that one because I love how my wigs have held up over the years. I'm going to bring that dome cap down toward the nape. That way, if I ever put combs into my dome cap, it'll fit right underneath my nape. And one thing you don't want is for your dome cap to be too tight. So as you all saw, I loosened it up before I put this frontal on it. And what I'm going to do is comb the frontal out and braid it down so that that hair is out of my way, and make sure this braid is extremely loose so that when you are applying it, you don't have like these extra ripples in your lace. All right. So you want the lace to be extremely loose and lie flat on this dome cap. So I'm going to lift that up and off. Make sure that the dome cap is still loose. That way, you know, when I'm putting it on when I'm sewing it on there, I'm not sewing it so that the wig is too tight, because eventually it will tighten up. As you all also see, the frontal is about 2 or 1.5 inches to 2 inches in front of that dome cap. The reason for that is because, like I said, you're going to end up tightening your wig unintentionally, because that's what happens when you sew it on there, especially by hand. So keep that in mind. What I'm doing first is I'm sewing the wig the frontal onto this dome cap. I made sure that it is extremely flat on that dome cap, and I used pins to tack it. I'm also, as I'm sewing, alternating directions. And the reason for that is because I don't want, if this frontal were to actually like get nicked, I don't want it to end up being too small. So, well, not too small, to come up. All right. So I alternate directions in which I'm sewing it onto this dome cap. All right. Once I do that, I'm going to sew it all the way down, and then I'm going to backtrack the same way you would when you're sewing a wig together. You stitch forward and then you back stitch. So as you all see, I'm now moving back up. All right. Now on to sewing the tracks on. I have a video previously that I outlined all of this for. Like I said, this video is specifically detailing the process of me stitching these tracks together to strengthen them and to prevent shedding. Another thing I want to note is when sewing these tracks together to make them fuller, if you are trying to limit shedding, do not sew within or through your wefts. That creates holes and spaces in the lace that make hair shed prematurely. So what I'm doing is sewing around the whole track for this one. And then like I said, cut my wefts, okay? I'm going to end up cutting it. And once I cut it, you're going to see me using some glue to go ahead and seal the ends, because I want to seal where it is that I cut. Once I seal these ends, that helps me prevent those hairs from shedding, but you still want to be cautious of the ones that you are shedding that may shed from the actual bundle's weft itself. So I sew through the end of the weft to adhere to this actual wig cap, but then what I'm going to do is sew only the top weft at this point. All right, so I'm only sewing through the top weft because I want the rest of my wig to be flexible. I want to be able to maneuver these tracks as much as possible. But for this particular wig, because of how long it is, I'm sewing 5 bundles into this one. In all honesty, you could have did well with 4, because my longest length on this wig is a 28. So once I go ahead and do all of this, like I said, I'm going to keep moving up in the same direction that you all see me sewing. And each track for this particular wig is about 1 inch apart. So that just about does it for this video. If you all have questions and need answers about anything else, let me know, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Peace, guys.
So,